Have you ever felt lost in a sea of information? Maybe in divorce you feel this way. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today's video. There's a simple explanation for that. But before we dive in, I wanted to mention the 7-day course below. If you're lost in the fog of information or the sea of information, the fog of divorce, there's a 7-day course link below. It's a simple course that will give you tools to help navigate out that side of that process, that place, that feeling of stuck. And it will also give you a new mindset and how to move forward. So check it out. I guarantee that you're gonna like it, and if you don't, your money will be fully returned. So with that being said, let's get back to the content. So we're talking about the sea of information that's out there, and maybe you've been in that place where you're not sure how you can really take it all in. Well, here's the simple fact. In 2018, analysts decided that there was about 18 zettabytes. 18 zettabytes, that's right. I'm not sure what a zettabyte is, but we're about to learn of information in the world today. And so our human brain has the capacity to analyze and process and hold about 2.5 million gigabytes. And so we're all pretty familiar with a gigabyte. You know, flash drives nowadays come pretty easy with about 256 gigabytes. Maybe your iPhone 256, 512. You get the point. Is a gigabyte's a lot of information. We can kind of process what our brains can look at. 2.5 million gigabytes of information. But also in comparison, you're looking at the difference between a zettabyte and a gigabyte. Here's an interesting fact. 1 zettabyte is equal to the same comparison as a trillion gigabytes. That's right, a trillion gigabytes. So we will never be able to process the 18 zettabytes of information, 18 zettabytes of facts, attention grabbers, of distractions, you could say. So do me a favor, don't try to process it all. Don't try to take it all in. What we're going to talk about is 3 different things you should be doing with that information. So you're not lost in that sea of information. You're not distracted by everything that's out there, and so that you can move forward accordingly. And if you're in divorce, you're in a special place where you get the ability to kind of reframe that, right? Divorce is a loss in most people's eyes, but you can actually turn it into a gain. And you can do that by being able to filter how you process that information, how you take it in, and how you move forward. So there's 3 different tips that we're going to talk about today in that regard. And tip number 1 is just accepting the simple fact that you can't do it all. You cannot literally process the 18 zettabytes of information. Your brain just can't simply handle it. Doesn't mean that you're not smart. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It doesn't mean anything negative at all. It just means that the world is abundant in information, and that we have to be selective about that process of how we go through that. So number 2, it's going to be decide who you want to be. With a world of 18 zettabytes of information, we have to be careful about how we move forward in that world. We have to know who we are and what we are to really move through it. Now, why is that? Well, we don't know who we are. We don't know what we are. We just kind of let the world happen to us. We try to take in those 18 zettabytes of information, and we find out that years, months, weeks go by. Hopefully it's not years, but it could be, without us fully processing anything useful, anything moving us forward to the people that we want to be. So when you know who you are and where you're going, you get the ability to navigate that information. You get the ability to not get lost in it, but actually use it for your benefit, and you can come out ahead. So we've talked about knowing that you can't do it all. We've talked about making sure that you understand who you are so you can navigate through it. And lastly, we need to make sure that we are staying curious and that we are refining at all times. You know, one of the often things that I hear from men in divorce is that they want to get to this place of comfort, of essentially like stopping. I'm not sure if it's the process or the pain or what it is. It could be a combination of that and more, and it often is. They want to stop. Here's the thing about life is we can't get off this train. We're on it. We're committed. And we can get to a place of like not having any responsibilities and doing anything. What if there's a more powerful place that's out there? What if there is a space that is more rewarding than just ending work? What if there's a place where you design the life that you've always wanted to live, that you actually enjoy and you never want to stop? That, to me, is more powerful. And if you like that information, follow along, subscribe, and we'll cover more of that. Like, how do you get to that place of never wanting to retire? That seems to be like a more powerful place to me, never wanting to stop. We'll talk about that in future videos. We hope you liked the content today. We're talking about the amount of information that was out there, 18 zettabytes of information. We talked about the 2.5 million gigabytes of information that we can process as humans. The disparity between each gives us the understanding that we'll never be able to process it all. So we got to first accept the fact that we can't do it all. We can't hold it on our shoulders. We also have to understand and accept the fact that we have to decide who we want to be and who we want to become. Because without that understanding of who we want to be and who we want to become, we get lost in that sea of information. And lastly, we talked about staying curious and staying open and to always be refining and to also challenge the idea of getting to a place of stopping and getting to a place of retirement. Because I don't know about you, the family members and friends that I have that have retired, they find themselves more busy in retirement. Wouldn't it be nice to get to a place where you were just intentionally busy doing the things that gave you energy instead of going to a place of busyness to get to a place of retirement, of stopping, of enjoying life, only to find yourself more busy? That all comes from the ability to know yourself and the other 2 points that we talked in this video today. So I appreciate all the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. Looking forward to supporting you more on your divorce journey, wherever you may be in that process.